Hi guys, welcome to Little Wicket Railway. I'm Rob, and in this video we're testing some small speakers to work out which one's best. I'm in the process of adding a Hornby sound decoder to this tender-driven locomotive, and after installing the decoder and some other electronics, there's not much room left for a speaker. I might just about fit the standard Hornby TTS speaker in there, but I wondered if there was a better, smaller speaker I could fit. After my last video on the Hornby TTS speaker upgrade, which wasn't very successful, a few people suggested I try the speakers from Road and Rails. So that's where I went and ordered myself 3 small speakers. Just after I'd ordered those, Richard from Road and Rails saw my video and messaged me asking if I'd like to test a few more. So in addition to the 3 I bought, Richard sent me another 4, and including the original TTS speaker, we've got 8 speakers in total to test. You'll see that I've tagged this video as a paid promotion, and that's because I've boldly assumed I'm allowed to keep the 4 speakers that I've been sent. It's not because that Richard is paying me to say nice things about Road and Rails or to promote a particular speaker. This test will be honest, impartial, and based on a degree of science. But seeing as Road and Rails have provided half the speakers, it does only seem fair to give them a bit of a plug. So please go check out their website. They've got a really impressive range of speakers and loads of other model related stuff. All the links to the speakers being tested in this video are in the description below. Richard from Road and Rails is really helpful, so if you don't know what you're looking for, then do send him a message and I'm sure he'll be able to help you out. And at the time of making this video, they were doing a buy 5 speakers and get the cheapest one free. Anyway, let's get on with the testing. So here's my scoring table, and we've got the 8 speakers down the side. Some of the speakers were just called Sugar Cube or Tablet Speaker, so I've given them numbers after the name just so we can identify them. The 3 areas that I consider important when looking for a speaker are price, loudness, and sound quality. So these are the 3 areas that I'll be scoring the speakers on. We've got 8 speakers to test, so each speaker will receive a score from 1 to 8 in each category, and the highest total score wins. Price is obviously easy to measure, so let's look at that first, and I'll put the prices in next to the speakers. I know speaker 1 is technically free because it comes with the decoder, but were you to buy the speaker separately, then it would cost around $3.99, so that's the price I've used. The cheapest speaker will get a full 8 points, and we've got 2 at $3.99. And the most expensive will get 1 point. The bass enhanced flat speaker is the most expensive at $7.99, nearly double the cost of the cheapest. The rest are somewhere between $7.99 and $3.99, so I've mapped those to a score between 1 and 8 points. So that's our first category done already, and the cheap speakers have taken an early lead. But are they cheap for a reason, and will they score badly in the later rounds? For the next 2 categories we need to have a listen. For this testing I wrote a JMRI script that ran through the exact same sequence of sounds with the exact same timings. I recorded the speaker output, making sure my testing setup stayed the same each time. So let's have a listen to each one in turn. So we've listened to all the speakers, and using some audio software I was able to get the peak amplitude of each in decibels, and I'll note that next to the speakers. A number closer to 0 is louder. So we can see here that speaker number 7 was the quietest at minus 45 decibels, and speaker number 5 is the loudest at minus 35.9 decibels. Now I could have just ranked them and allocated the points, but there are two problems with this. Firstly, it didn't seem fair that the difference of 0.1 decibels, as seen here between speaker 1 and speaker 8, could be worth a whole point. So I was going to map the amplitudes between points 1 and 8, just like I did for the price. However, decibels are on a logarithmic scale, and it's not that straightforward. Secondly, I wanted to factor in the size of the speaker. Obviously, a larger speaker should make a louder noise. So without boring you to death with maths, I converted the decibels to a linear scale, then factored in the volume of each speaker in millimetres cubed. Then I mapped it all to a scale between 1 and 8 points. Unsurprisingly, the ultra-flat bass-enhanced speaker, putting out the loudest sound and being quite small overall, took the full 8 points. The small tablet speaker was the quietest, about 8 times quieter than the bass-enhanced speaker, and despite factoring in its small size, it still comes in last. All the others are somewhere in between. I should say that on reflection, I think I was a bit harsh to the iPhone speaker. When I was testing them, it sounded really loud to me, but that doesn't come through on the recording, and I think that's because the speaker is very directional. So when lying flat, all the sound was coming towards me rather than up at the microphone. So that's something to consider when mounting your speakers to make sure the sound is going in the direction that you want. Finally, we need to look at sound quality, and this is the hardest to measure because what sounds good to me might not sound good to you. I'm going to rank each of the speakers based on what I thought. I'll be looking for a good range of sound across the bass, midtones and treble, and as before, the best sound quality will get 8 points and the worst gets 1. Okay, so let's start with last place, and for me this was pretty clear. It's speaker number 7, the small tablet number 2. I thought the sound was hissy, tinny, and as Road and Rail said, I think this needs to be combined with another speaker to give it a fuller sound. So 1 point for speaker number 7. And in second to last place, I'm going to have to give it to Sugar Cube number 3, that's speaker number 6, because again, it's lacking in that bass area. Again, probably because it's a small speaker, but it just didn't have that all-round sound. Jumping to the other end of the spectrum, I thought speaker number 5, the ultra-flat bass-enhanced speaker, gave the best all-round sound. You could tell the bass was in there, it was strong in the midtones, and it managed to retain the treble as well. So that's getting a full 8 points. I found it really hard to decide between speaker number 4, the Sugar Cube number 2, and speaker number 8, the small iPhone speaker for second place, because they both sounded really good. But I've given it to Sugar Cube number 2 because even though it's got slightly less bass, it's managed to maintain the midtones and it's kept the treble. So 7 and 6 points for those. Then I've given 5 points to speaker number 2, 4 points to speaker number 3, and 3 points to speaker number 1. To me, there's not a huge difference between those. So let's update the scoreboard. The sound quality scores are in, let's calculate a total, and that can give us our final ranking. Coming out on top, we've got the iPhone speaker. Really helping is that low price of $449, which is a bargain considering it's tiny, yet still produces a loud quality sound. It was super close between second and third place with only 0.2 between them, but the Sugar Cube takes silver, giving an impressively loud and clear sound for its size. Then in third place, it's the ultra-flat bass-enhanced speaker, which lost out because it's the most expensive of the speakers we tested, but it got full marks for both the loudness and the sound quality.
So if you're in the market for a small speaker, then hopefully you've found that useful. To be honest, I really like all of the top 3 speakers and I'd happily use any of them depending on the space available. Do make sure you select a speaker with the correct resistance for your decoder. These were all 8 ohm speakers, but you might find you need a 4 ohm speaker, so do check your decoder first. All the speaker links are in the description below, so go check those out on the Road and Rails website, and thank you once again to Richard for providing half of the test subjects. If you found this video useful, then please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Remember to hit that notifications button so YouTube will let you know when videos come out in the future. Thanks for watching, and I will hopefully see you again soon.